side. Welcome back to the homestead. I even got notes today because this one's a good one. Ha! You guys, you got to keep your head in the game, and you got to keep connecting these dots, right? Because they're putting these systems in place while they're distracting you all over the place. And then when you come out of all this stuff, it's going to be, what happened? How did that? What did it? And you're gonna get caught, right? So I'm just trying to bring you this stuff, you know, like the food processing plants burning down all over our country, right? We live in America, in case you didn't know, if you're watching this from some other place. We've had a lot of our food processing plants catch on fire, you know, just these weird accidents where they're closing them down, and, you know, it's just kind of suspicious, to say the least. Now, I was gonna bring you a story today about some more of that, right? Because I was just reading an article that's a couple days old, and an 18-wheeler goes to pick up the meat, right? The processing meat, and they pull in, and he's got the big refrigerator truck, and he's sitting there, and, you know, he says he pulled in to get his load, and he went inside of his cab to go to sleep, you know, to get some rest while they were loading them and doing their thing. And then he said when he woke up, the truck was gone. The whole back of the truck was just gone, right? $500,000 in beef that's not going to hit the stores, right? I was going to bring you that article. As a matter of fact, I'll just flash it right here real quick for you in case you want to go read it for yourself. So I'm just trying to help you guys connect these dots, right? So today we're going to talk about Executive Order 14067. This is Joe Biden's little baby. They've been working on this thing for years, even during Trump, right? So don't think this isn't going to happen, or don't think this is just a dim thing, okay? There's a couple of things going on with our currency that they have to kind of manage and straighten up. And you know what they're going to do probably is usher in this new digital stuff, because we're going for surveillance, if you haven't noticed. Surveillance. All right, March 9th, 2022, signed into law. No Congress, no states ratifying it, no nothing. Oh, Sleepy Joe, just quietly in the hush of night, signed Executive Order 14067. The reason why I tell you the executive number is so you guys can go to the internet and you can just read the executive order for yourself, let it sink in, and then reflect on it. You know, what are your thoughts on that? All right, Section 4. There's a Section 4 in there. It sets the stage for legal surveillance in America, right? Total control over all bank and transactions. Kind of like China. You know, China has a, what do they call that? It's like a social system in place. So, you know, if you say something they don't like, they cut your money off. If you buy something they don't want you to buy, they cut your money off. If you protest in the streets, they don't like that. As a matter of fact, why don't you guys do a little homework and look at all the problems they were having in Beijing with protests and all this uprising right before COVID hit. Right before COVID hit, it was a hot box over there. And then COVID came in, and then they locked everybody in their apartments, and they're still doing that right now, by the way. And they have this digital currency, and, you know, you just got to keep your eye on this stuff, right? So, you know, a lot of you guys think they're coming for the guns, and I was noticing this a while ago, right? They're not really going to come for the guns. They're going to start attacking the banks and the way you purchase stuff, right? Because they can't get the guns. We're just not there yet. Maybe another generation or two, they might be able to squeeze them out, but for right now, they just can't do it. So what they're going to do is they're going to do all the workarounds. You kind of noticed that during COVID, right? They couldn't make these laws to make you wear a mask. So what they did was they just got with their little buddies, the big corporate guys, and they said, hey man, you know, we want to try to see how much we can control the people. Why don't you tell everybody to, you know, mask up to come into your store and buy groceries that help them live and survive? And then he says, yeah, that's a pretty good idea, man. As long as we're in bed with you guys, I mean, they'll have to shop at our store because we'll be the only ones open, because we're going to close all those small mom and pops. And then, yeah, we'll just see how we can control them and make them buy what we want them to buy. And the government says, yeah, that's a good plan. Let's do it. And that's what they did, right? Just think about it. You had to have a mask to go in the store, and then the employees were roughing you up, right? Remember all this stuff just 2 years ago, right? We've been flying on planes now for almost a year, 10 months, 11 months with no masks, no mass casualties, nothing going on. I told you guys from the beginning you were getting duped, right? And you got duped. This is called mass psychosis, man. This is some powerful stuff. And the government, you know, they know how to do this stuff. Okay, they know how to destabilize countries. They know how to pipe that stuff in to mess with your mind. They're professionals at it, right? So don't think they're not. All right, so they're gonna make the dollar obsolete and replace it with the digital token. And they've been working on this with MIT. Did you guys even know this? For years, MIT has been working with the government. It's called Project, hold on, I wrote it down. Hamilton, Project Hamilton, right? You can look this stuff up. I'm not just making this stuff up. This is not conspiracy theory. This is what's happening. And when they digitalize your money, right, that's going to be a problem. Then they can control where you spend it, how much you have, if you're a good boy or you're a good girl, where you can go, what you can you leave the country, can you go on a trip. You know, in China they monitor all that stuff, where you can go. If you're a bad person or low social status, you cannot get on the train and go over here and spread your low social status attitude, so they lock you down, right? So MIT's already been on the case. And now, you know, I was also watching, you know, MIT, if you gotta kind of keep your eye on MIT. Man, do you see those little robot dogs and these little robot fighting machines that they're building over there? Guys, keep your eye on that stuff. And just think about Canada, right? Trudeau, remember when the Canadians, the truckers all spoke out against what was going on during the vid? You know? What'd Trudeau do? He did the emergency powers, went right in and shut down all their bank accounts, right? Hello, McFly, anybody home? Oh my gosh, China and Russia already have it. Half the countries in the world, 90% of the central banks are already starting to implement digital currencies, y'all. Keep your mind on this. Project Lithium is another project like Project Hamilton, which is helping them usher in this stuff, right? Imagine being in Germany. So what they do is they'll mess with the money, they'll cause hyperinflation, they say these supply chain issues are going on all of a sudden, right? So supply chain issues are going on, it's going to cause your money to decrease in value, all the goods you buy are going to go up in value. Remember we heard the stories of how they needed a wheelbarrow of cash to buy a loaf of bread, and that's what they'll do. They'll make that cash worthless, or they'll confiscate it like they did the gold in America. Did you actually remember that fascist setup that they did on us, where they had confiscated the gold and then took gold off of our reserve, so now the dollar is just a fiat paper currency worth nothing, and ever since then inflation has been going up, 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 up. Total scam, all done by the central banks. If you guys don't know, I've been studying money lately. I've had this on my heart about money. They don't teach us money in school here in America. They want you dumb about money, so you live check to check to check to check, and you never advance yourself, right? Very few people learn about money, and then those people go on to be super successful. So I've been really kind of studying the money, how it operates, how the banks operate, and all this system, right? And it's basically designed, you know, against the common man. And that's what I've been trying to learn about, so I can break free of that kind of bondage, right? I want to be smarter with my money, and I want to know how they're operating the money, so then I can participate and become, you know, wealthy off of that, right? Like they do, instead of keeping me dumb and keeping me poor, right? And then I can't help people. I like to be affluent, and I like to help people. All right, so what else do I got on my notes here? Yeah, I was just talking about the China already is restricting travel, taking away pets, right? If they don't like your pets, they say no pets for you, and they take it away, or they take your money away from you. Negative interest rates, watch out for that coming up, right? Negative interest rates, no cash for you. So what negative interest rates stops people from holding on to cash, right? Because if you don't spend the cash with negative interest rates, it actually loses value so fast, it's, you know, you have to spend it, right? Which is kind of like what I've been doing for like the last year and a half, is things that I know that I need, that I feel are going to be on the pinch from the supply chain side. I've been trying to budget and save and buy all the tools and a few things that I need around the homestead, so I don't get caught in any of this coming forward, okay? This is all underway right now, right? This isn't something that's in the future. They are already actively implementing and going after this. So you guys gotta keep your head on a swivel, right? You gotta stay informed with all this stuff, and keep your eye on these executive orders. I was kind of thinking to myself, you know, recently about executive orders, and you know, I mean, I'm not really a politic guy. I'm into it now, I guess, because I'm a little bit older, and maybe matters a little bit more to me now. But I just don't remember all these executive orders. It seemed like, and I don't want to say it was Obama, but Obama, maybe Clinton, somewhere around in there, you just started kind of hearing executive orders, executive orders, executive orders. And then it kind of ramped up. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, it's because I think kind of crazy, right? I'm thinking, are they kind of programming us for dictatorship, right? Because we don't do that. We don't do presidential orders or edicts, right? We have to go through Congress. We have a whole system here, how we make laws and how we fund the Congress, and you know, it's our whole system. And they're bypassing that with these you know, presidential edicts and decrees and stuff. And I don't know, it just kind of was setting funny on me. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think, as we're all awakening to this all at the same time, some faster than others. So just leave a comment down below if maybe that had never crossed your mind. All right, so keep your eyes on and connect the dots, right? They're going, look around over the last year, 2 years, what's under pressure? Money, food, and water, right? Those are the three big things right now, and those are absolutely, food and water, what you need to survive. The money side of it, you can live without it, right? Promise you. It'll be difficult, you know, it'll be a lot harder than you're used to, but you can live without money or a lot of money, right? We've done it for 13 years. If you grow food and live off rainwater, I mean, you don't really have to buy a lot of stuff unless you just consume other stuff, you know what I mean? But for your necessities, for what it really takes you to live the way God intended, is you need the, you know, land, the trees, the seeds, the water, you know what I mean? All that'll take care of you, and the rest you'll figure out for yourself. But we're all comfy now with the system and the money and the house and the car, and you know, we've been kind of, I don't want to say domesticated, but we've just been kind of moved off the mark a little bit. And so those things are important to us, and when they start messing with that stuff, it's going to kind of mess up your life, right? So you guys keep a close eye on what's coming down the pipe on this executive order, and they're full steam ahead with this. It's not going to go away, right? There's some things that they have done recently that are just not going to go away, and this is probably definitely one of them. And I was wondering too, like, that's why they're kind of going after Bitcoin. They don't really want to have any alternatives, right? They want to have the government digital currency the only way to travel, right? And then that way it's total control. Well, that's my big news story for today. If you guys signed up to win the Layman's gift card giveaway, you should have an email waiting for you, so saying, hey, you guys won. Make sure you respond with your, you know, mailing address and everything. You have 24 hours to respond to that email, and if you don't, we're going to send it off to another person, and then that person has 24 hours. We can only give you that long because, you know, it takes a second to organize all this stuff, and then if we just let it hang and hang and hang, it never gets done. So we always do it within 24 hours, okay? Leave a comment down below if you guys have heard about this executive order. What do you think about it? And that's all I got for you today. Right, it's harvest time. The cool breeze is in the air. I'm gonna be wearing a jacket soon, switching to my other black hat. If you're new around here, my wife and I live in a log cabin that we built ourselves. We left the rat waste 13 years ago, and we moved off-grid in a log cabin, and we kind of live like the pioneers with a few modern conveniences. And we teach everyone on social media how you can kind of break free from the system, grow your own food, and, you know, live your best life, right? So keep your eye on all this stuff. Leave a comment down below, and we'll see you on the next video.